Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about trinomial factoring today. And the key to trinomial factoring is to make sure that we are using the knowledge we have from distribution of polynomial or polynomial, so we can get to a place where we're in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c. But our leading coefficient today is going to have nothing more than a equal to 1. We'll eventually get beyond that, but I want to make sure we understand this first. If you notice here, if you were to FOIL these out, you would actually end up with 4 terms. And now the middle term is going to wind up being added together every time. Whether those terms are both a positive, a negative and a negative, or a positive and positive, they always get added together. And since they're getting back added together, we're going to have to get that middle term back so we can go ahead and actually do our factoring. So if I look at our first example, it says x squared, right, plus 7x plus 12. So we're going to use what's called the product sum method. And the product sum method says that I'm going to find 2 numbers whose product is 12 and who add up to make 7. Now you'll notice I put, it looks like an equal sign under 7. I always put a double line under 7, 7 in this case, whatever the middle, the B number might be, coefficient, because I want to make sure I add to that number. I want to sum up to that number. And then my product is kind of looks like I'm foiling there. So you have a positive 7. With a positive 7, you need 2 numbers that are going to end up being, both the same. So, the positive 12 tells you I have 2 of the same thing. Positive 4 and a positive 3 will yield for me the positive 7 I'm looking for. And the key is when I'm looking for that positive 7, they have to add together to make that. So 3 times 4 is 12. 3 plus 4 is 7. So what I have here is really x squared plus 3x plus 4x plus 12. And what I'm doing is I'm going to group the first 2 together. Now, there's a plus sign right here. It's a plus sign right there. Let me make it look better. Right, there's my plus sign right there. Right? So if I look, that plus sign has to live between them. Because what I'm going to do now is GCF factor. I'm going to take the x out and make this x plus 3. Keep my plus sign because nothing happened to them. Take the 4 out, make this x plus 3. Now that I've GCF factored, I reveal that I have another GCF factor of x plus 3. And that's what's known as your common. Okay? Your x plus 3, what's in both is your common. You'll hear me say that over and over again. And then your leftover, quote unquote, is going to be your x plus 4. And if you were to FOIL this back out, you would actually see that you would end up with x squared plus 7x plus 12. Right? Now, I know the notes on this page don't end there, and you hop to the next page, you can see right there at the top of those notes. But the exact same thing we just did is now typed out for you. Now, what you need to see here is that there we have another example to try. And you say, Mr. J, this looks very familiar. It does. It's similar numbers. X squared plus x minus 12. So my product and my sum, my product here is negative 12, means I have 1 plus 1 minus, and my sum here is positive 1. So what happens is I'm going to find 2 numbers who make negative 12 and add up to make positive 1. Well, those 2 numbers are going to be negative 3 and a positive 4. And in this case, unlike before where I had 2 positives, I now have to make sure I keep track of that negative. So I always put my negative first if possible. If I have 2 negatives, then obviously I got to put 1 second. There must be a plus sign that lives here, and it's 4x minus 12, paren, x minus 3. That plus sign comes down, nothing changes there. I factor a 4, it becomes x minus 3, because now what I have is I had to pull that 4 out. That's why I wanted to keep that positive. The common now is x minus 3, and the leftovers are x plus 4. Again, I could FOIL that back out and see that I would end up with literally the exact same thing I started with. Okay. The nice part about this video, if you're looking at it saying, Mr. I'm not getting it, go back, look at it again. Okay. You can always check out where we're going. All right. Let's see. We'll go to our next page here. Let's try this example. This example says x squared minus 7x plus 12. So my product and my sum here is going to be a positive 12, and my sum is a negative 7. So I need two numbers whose product is positive 12. So it's two of the same thing. How about -3 and -4? So that's going to give me x squared minus 3x, big old plus in the middle, minus 4x plus 12. Why do I have that plus sign? Because the plus sign must live in the middle. It must. The negative is attached to that 4. Don't lose your negative on that 4. So I GCF this. X minus 3 comes out. I bring my plus sign down. A -4 comes out of here. X minus 3 comes down as my common. My common is now x minus 3. Okay, and my leftovers is not x plus 4, but in this case, x plus a -4 or x minus 4. And when I FOIL that back out, I will get x squared minus 7x plus 12 when I'm done. Now, looking at example number 4, I have a product here. My product is 9, and my sum is 6. Well, that sounds like a 3 and a 3 to me. Okay. Now, what happens here is you're going to have x squared plus 3x plus 3x plus 9, paren, x plus 3 plus 3 times x plus 3. And you're saying, Mr. J, look, it looks the same, right? We have x plus 3 as your common. You have x plus 3 as your leftover. This is known as a perfect square trinomial. Okay, and it happens. Not all the time, but it happens. And I have two of the exact same thing. Now, again, when you're doing this, it all depends on what numbers you're given, and you have to follow the rules. And as long as you're following the rules and doing what's being asked of you each time, you'll be in a situation where you'll be able to get to a right answer. Okay, let's hop to the next page. It says let's try a few on our own. I'm going to try these with you. Okay, I have a sum and a product. My product here is -32. That's my product. And my sum is +4. Well, that sounds like a +8 and a -4 to me. -4. So we have here is x squared minus 4x. Always put your negative first. Plus 8x minus 32. Paren. X comes out. X minus 4 left over. Plus, or not left over, but it's going to be the common. 8x minus 4 inside those parens. X minus 4 is the common, and then the leftovers become the other one, x plus 8. All right, what you're now going to have here is now example number 6. In example number 6, you will have here a situation where you have a product of 20 and a sum of 9. Positive product means I have two of the same thing. How about a +4 and a +5? That works really well. X squared plus 4x plus 5x. The order here doesn't matter. You can put the 4x first, 5x first, doesn't matter because they're both positive. Plus 20, paren, x plus 4 plus 5, x plus 4. Now we got x plus 4s in both of them. That's my common, x plus 4. And your leftover is x plus 5. Okay, FOIL that back out. You will see that works. Last example on the page. It says I have a product of 6, and I have a sum of -5. Right? What's happening now is we're going to have x squared, right? It's going to be x squared, and we have a positive product, means I have a 3 and a 2, but they're not just regular old 3 and 2, they're -3 and -2, right? So I'm going to end up with -3x plus -2x plus 6, and I got to keep that negative there. Now what comes out here is x minus 3 left over, plus a -2. Now, when I take that -2, I got to change everyone's signs. X minus 3, right? So the common becomes x minus 3, and the leftover becomes x minus 2. And if I factor that, if I FOIL that all back out, I see that my factoring was in fact correct. Now, nice, you can go back and show through these again if you'd like. There is obviously a homework component here for you to try out. It is in your best interest to try these. I know Some of you, no matter what I do, will not do it. But I'm asking you, you should really try these out. You need to be good at factoring. That's not going to go away. All right, folks. So I will be back hopefully as soon as possible so we can do this stuff together. I'm going to have you guys keep working. Now, remember, today was leading coefficient was 1. When the leading coefficient is not 1, it's the same idea. That's coming up. So each one of these, though, you're going to go through the exact same steps. Make a product and sum table for each one of them. I know some of you don't want to do that, but literally, this is going to help you get better at this. And once you're good at this, you'll have this skill for the rest of your life. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. If you have questions, let me know.